put my glasses on, so I'll be squinting. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I have trouble. My mom would be like, get your glasses. I'm sorry, Mom. All right. Well, I hope y'all had a good week. I am going to get our party ball started. I'm sticking with it every week. Oh yeah. Okay. So let me real quick, because we're almost at the end of the month. So we have lots of people to celebrate. We want to welcome Ross Stein back. We are so glad you're back. Awesome. And we're here to help any way we can. All right, so I'm going to start with anyone that's active. Okay. And hi, Shannon. Awesome. Okay. Just in time for the celebration. We have Anna, Tristan, Heather T, Shauna, Christy, Cindy, Melanie, and I think, let's see. Yeah, Mary. And now these are the people over 500 so far. Come on, Disco Ball. Don't be a bummer. Michelle, yay. Roxanne, I want to say Roxanne. Okay. Brittany, better, because I think we have a couple of Brittany's. Tracy Murphy, Morgan, Talissa, Leslie, holla. Good job. You're way up there. Look at you go. Heather W, Kara, and these are my over 1,000. Amy and
Yes.
Heather S. Way to go. That's awesome. It's been a good month. We're doing well as a team. So hopefully you can close out some great sales and have a good end of your month. Anybody have any parties to close?
Yeah, I have one.
Nice.
I do.
What kind of parties are y'all doing?
Mine is Facebook with my mom and her friends.
Yeah,
We're gonna do bingo tonight.
fun.
So yeah.
So how'd you do it? Did you do cards or you just
I have cards, but then I also bought a little Dollar Tree bingo thing. It has a little thing I can spin. So I think I'm gonna do that one this time.
nice? Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I just sitting here, all of a sudden I just realized I didn't total up house points, but I'll do that and I'll just do it later. So I just kind of knew I was missing something and I was like, what? So I'll update them later. Okay. Just for the record. I normally like to do it here, but I didn't get it done. I will work on that. I think birthday week threw me off and like, it was just busy. I don't know. All right. Who else had a party and what kind of party?
It's a party, but it's just it was my personal party. And so I've just been trying to use it to just get everybody with these little orders. Like I've been having lots of little, like I need this type of room spray, or I just wish the cotton cleanups would come back and stop prolonging. But yeah, we'll see. I'll have enough. I've used it for the last 2 months. And so I'm going to close it tonight.
Nice. Yeah. Kind of a catch-all.
Yeah, and that way I can get the stuff I need for the mystery box. So I still have just the 7, but it's a good start. So I will give them lots of stuff to begin with, and we'll see how it goes. And I'm thinking about, I don't mean to take over your meeting. I'm thinking about, since I bought stuff for those, maybe just having a theme box and then people choose which when they want. It's just like a current one instead of trying to do a different theme every month. Maybe just starting with what I have and say, do you want this box, this box, this box? Because I'll have leftover stuff that I bought from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really smart. So a lot of times when I buy extras to make a specific box, I will have a few, things left over. And so, yeah, I have done like mini bags too, just some of the things that go with that theme, but then I add something different. So nobody else knows the difference, right? Like they don't know they didn't get the monthly box. They just are getting like a grab bag. And before COVID, I mean, when I had an open house, I'd have them sitting out and people like, oh yeah, I'll take that. It looked like Little Mermaid bag or something. And I just had a few little miscellaneous leftover things. That's a good thing to do. And you should definitely do it with products you already have on hand. That's smart.
Yes.
Good. Awesome. And in case anyone hasn't been in the practice, I mean, most of you probably are, but really it is wise. And oh my goodness, can we just talk about now? Y'all all caught the change, right? When someone's doing a personal website order, they're getting prompted to add it to a party. Like it's awesome. So the 2 big changes, the one that happened a little bit back where you can put in an individual order and attach it to a party, like that was awesome. And now when someone is ordering on your website, it prompts them. And I had an order, just a random one that attached to a party. It was so exciting. Oh, yeah. So have a party open all the time. I know y'all know that. Even though I know that occasionally I get the first week of a month and I'm like, oh, I didn't have a party be open. Now more than ever, that is imperative to always have, like I called this one make March Madness or something, or I don't know, something. Just always have an open party that they will now hopefully be prompted to add to that. So that's good. Anyone else want to talk about anything going on or a party? Or...
I'm just closing random orders for the month. So
I figured you had.
I'll be active. I'll have my 500.
Good. All right. Awesome. Well, you guys are awesome. You're doing a good job. Any prayer requests? Anything on your heart today?
My coworker's daughter went home.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's wonderful to hear.
With a trach and a peg tube. So
Oh, goodness gracious.
at least she's not in the hospital.
Oh, that's progress, but that's hard. Well, we'll keep her on the prayers. That's rough. My best friend's brother went home from the hospital. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Good too. It was very scary last week. So thankful for that answered prayer. Man, I had something I was going to say too. Anyone else? Anything we want to note and pray for each other? Okay. I know I'm missing something that like went completely blank in my brain. So if I think of it later, I'll shout it out. Like in fact, it's so big that I'm like, I know I can't even believe I'm not thinking of it. But anyway. Okay. I wanted to get some thoughts from you guys. And like I said, this is 100% safe zone. You can say anything. I love all of you. There's nothing you can say that will be a problem. I just really want to know. You know, I told you when we started these like weekly tasks that we would kind of see how they go and adjust if needed, kind of gauging like, are there too many tasks, not enough tasks? I want to know, are the tasks just not feeling helpful enough? Are they feeling overwhelming? Are they just not engaging? Like, what do you think would be the best thing to move forward with? Because I'm totally up to adapting and changing. If you think there should just be less things, more simple things, any ideas or thoughts on that?
It's just been overwhelming for me outside of work with my front desk being out. So I'm brain dead by the time I get home. And
yeah.
So.
Okay. So for some, just feeling not able to get there, overwhelmed.
Maybe if we just have like 3 tasks a week or something. I thought this last week, they were all pretty doable. I didn't do them all, but I'm looking at my list here and I'm like, I should have done that. I mean, they were all pretty simple.
I think there were 4 this week. I'm pretty sure. And one was just watching the video, but right. Yeah. Okay. So maybe 3.
Yeah. I mean,
would it help to be buddied up with a partner? Or you just I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I
think the challenge of us like doing the Happy Mail or whatever, it caused me to do the Happy Mail. So maybe if we just have like a task or so a week that we do similar to that, I guess. I guess I'm saying the same thing, maybe not as many.
Okay.
But I do like the video and then the task that goes along with it.
Okay.
These tasks,
yeah.
How are they issued? What media do I need to be connected with to get them? A little bit of explanation for them, just to get me, you know, it's been a long time, you all. And so I'm trying to get my brain back re-engaged and focused.
Yeah, no, that's a good question because you're just back into it. So basically each week I aim to have a theme. So like one week we were talking about bookings and one week we were talking about customer care. And so it's kind of a subject to focus on for the week. And we start the week with our Sunday Zoom, just like this. And we kind of normally go over ideas. We brainstorm a little bit together. I come in normally with a set kind of outline and talk about some points and then ask for feedback. What do you do to do this? What are some things you've done? And I take those notes and I make a more polished video with everybody's input. And then I send that video out as well and post it on the team page. I've been sending it in email and on the team page. And then I usually make a graphic for each task that I've come up with or we said would be a good thing to do. And they're all optional. Nobody is required to do any of them. And they vary in complexity. Most of them are pretty simple. It's like make a comment about this or do this task that we all need to have anyway done, right? So it's just focusing attention on a specific topic that will help build the business and kind of breaking it down into a couple of things that would help you with that. So you're normally getting that in an email through my team thing. And also it's being posted on Facebook group page. So that's kind of how you get the information and how we started. We started it, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago. We've really only had 4 weeks. We took kind of a week off for spring break. But, you know, we're having a few people do things, but I'm thinking a lot of people are just not being able to get to it. And I understand, because like I've said always, my job is not your boss, and my job is not, you know, someone to check in on you because you're all independent business owners. But my job is to be a mentor and to help, just like you guys are to each other and to your people that, you know, sign on with you. And so just trying to do the best job I can with that. And that's why I ask for feedback, because, you know, I kind of take that view of if one person did it, well, that's great. You know, she might not have done it if we didn't do it. But also if I'm putting a lot of time and effort into something and I'm not seeing it really making a difference, it makes me wonder if it's my best use of my time. So that's why we're kind of where we are. What I really want to do today, so we were kind of set to talk about mentoring. And that's kind of like, once you have someone join you, how are we going to proceed? And let's put some things in place. But what I'd like to do is to take this to this week to kind of recap what we've done and to do at least one of our tasks together today. And so if you have a piece of paper and a pen, that would be fantastic. We're going to do the new customer web chart together. We're just going to knock it out, and then y'all come post it and you'll get points. See how good that is? We'll just take care of it. It's like when the teacher lets you do your work in class. It's so fun.
Yeah.
You're like, yes.
Except
for that poor kid who's like, I spent 3 hours doing that last night. This is no fair. That was always me. Anyway.
I don't have a lot of those anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. Does that make sense to you, Rostein?
Yes, it does.
Okay, all right. And like I said, I mean, we're just trying to grow together and figure out, like, sometimes I feel like it's just better if you have something to focus on during the week, because I get overwhelmed with all the thoughts and ideas and wind up trying to do it all and do nothing, at least do nothing well, or I don't finish anything. So the thought was, hey, if we all focus on this and we help each other, the problem is we're all so busy and it's just hard, and I get it. I do. So it's not a me saying like, we're not doing a good job. It's just a, how can we make it worth it? Or what can we do to make this simple but effective, right? And that's what we're going for. So the idea is that we have to have new contacts all the time. And sometimes we kind of go to the same well a lot. And people are like, okay, I just bought from you, or you just feel like you're bugging the same people. So we talked a lot about customer care and how to grow your customer base. So there's a video for that if you want to go back and watch it. I post everything also on my YouTube channel, so you can find the things there. But I think the important thing is trying to think outside the box. And so the idea is on your piece of paper to just think of some things. Before we do that, let's brainstorm. What are some ways, did anybody do this yet? I can't remember. Michelle, did you get around to this one? Okay,
No, that was like kicking myself because it's simple enough.
Right. That's okay. We're going to do it right now. Okay. So before, like, even on one side of the paper, if you just want to jot some things down, everybody take 2 minutes and jot down some things people do, activities, things that you can kind of put people into some kind of a category. Just make a little list. Like I've said before, people whose favorite color is pink, people who are obsessed with tennis shoes. Like, you think of weird things that you're just like, oh, I know I can think of someone right now who loves tennis shoes. I'm writing his name down, you know, and that's not someone I would normally, that person I just wrote down is our preacher. He loves buying Air Jordans. Like, he's obsessed. He's got 10 zillion. And I would never write his name down as a customer. Now, his wife is my customer, but I would never write his name down. But you know what? Like, when I write it down, you're going to see why that's important. So just for right now, write down some categories. We're going to share them out loud. And then you can pick a few and we'll do the actual chart. So just about 2 minutes. I feel like we need some music. Do, do, do. Okay, no, you're not that one. Uh, it's just a way to get your brain thinking differently. Um, Can't wait to hear what y'all are writing down. So exciting. See, because then we're all going to get all these ideas and it'll be like, oh, I know someone like that. Fantastic. Okay, about maybe 30 more seconds. I didn't really put a timer, but that seems about right. Mm. Okay, feel free to keep writing, but somebody just kind of list out what you have and we'll just kind of go down the row. Anyone that wants to share, it would be helpful because I'm going to keep writing your ideas down too, because they'll be like, oh, well, I'll think of someone with that. Anybody want to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
All right, so my list says people with children, people who work in childcare, people who love the gym,
You're so
people,
good.
people in the military, people on a diet,
Yes.
people who are not on Facebook, people who are not married, new grandparents, people who have gone back to school, and people who you have seen who's traveled since COVID.
Those are so good. Like I didn't have one single one of those. I love it. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else want to share their list?
Those, my son just started soccer this last weekend. So soccer, people who work outside the home, like not that are remote, since I'm an essential worker, you know, everybody is an essential worker. Church, cheer, dance, neighbors, people who, I'm in like a cricket group, you know, like for the like silhouette cricket things, realtors.
Oh, good. That's good. Those are all awesome. Anybody else want to hear all your answers?
I had the real estate as well.
Yeah, that's such a good one.
People who love bling, people who love pets, who cook, people who love music, people who work in an office, people who work with children, and people who teach.
That's awesome. That's such a good list too. Cause I mean, just look at working together. I'm like, oh, I could think of 12 people for all these, but I didn't write any of those down. Michelle, what you got?
I put neighbors because I kind of live out in the country, so we're kind of spaced out, so we don't always see each other. People who love succulents because I love succulents.
Yeah, hey, that should get you an interesting list.
Or gardening, you know.
Yes.
People who like to dance, travel, shop. And then I said people with pets, specifically to me, dachshunds, because I'm in a group that is all about dachshunds.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I got.
I'm gonna write my beagles down. I get my beagle people. I'm now a beagle person, you know. That's awesome. You could do like animal rescue, right? Because I know you saved your doggy from the shelter, so that would be awesome. Rostein, you want to share?
I put photographers. I put people who exercise, carpenters, people who love vacations, video gamers.
Yes, gamers. That's a good one.
Somebody said childcare, and then that was it.
That's awesome. So many ideas. Okay, I'm going to read mine real fast. See, what I love is everybody kind of went their own route. And when I heard yours, I was like, well, yes, absolutely. Because I can think of a whole bunch of people and I can think how that relates to Cincy. I mean, obviously we go down the list and do that. That could be a good activity too. But I thought of people who love Disney, people who love Star Wars, people who love Marvel, people who love Harry Potter. Now, my first three I put because we have those products, but not only because we have those products, just because I can think of people who are Disney fanatics, right? And that would just make me think of new people to contact. Harry Potter isn't something we offer, but I know people who love Harry Potter. It would make me put their name down on that list. People who love football, cheer, retirees, people who are professionals, people who travel, people who love cars, people who live in other states, you know, like thinking of that, someone who lives in another country. And so there's just a million different ideas. Once you start that, you're like, oh yeah, there's so many ways. So that would be step one. You just make it a list. And each time you could think of different things, or you could say, I'm going to focus on these 10. I'm going to pick my favorite 10 for the first week of March, right? Or April, since we're moving into April. Then you would want to go and say, okay, which ones am I going to start with? And maybe even, I made a really terrible list. It's like all over the place. But if you took another piece of paper and you wrote down the topic, the category, I suppose, and you start going, okay, well, I mean, take 2 of them right now and just list some people that come to mind for that category. Just pick your favorite 2 that you heard and jot down like at least 5 names for each. Or you could even just, you know, spend some time and going, which ones get me the biggest list to start with, or whatever you decide. Just take another little minute, see how many names you can quickly come down with something. Then kind of decide which group of people got you the most excited. Which name, which group you were like, oh man, this is, I can think of a lot of people. And so I'm just going to take the example, and on my backside, I'm just going to literally write photographers. Okay. You put whichever one you're choosing on your clean side of your paper and just box it in, bubble it in, square it in, whatever you like. And then you're going to go ahead, if you had 5 names, just draw your little lines off and put your 5 names. I'm going to do 4, I think, for right now. I'm just going to pick 4 people that maybe I haven't talked to about Cincy ever. Maybe they are a customer. Maybe they bought like 1,000,000 years ago, but it's been a long time. I'm going to put my 4 or 5 names around. So y'all do that too. So you should have one of your categories and 4 or 5 names coming off. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. It's just one idea. So, I mean, it should be something similar to this, where you've got your people coming off however you chose to do it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pick a name, and you're going to do 3, 4, 5 little things off of that. And you're going to think, okay, what do I know? I'm going to use my friend Heather. What do I know about Heather? She is a teacher. So I'm going to put school because she teaches. So pick your person, and one of the little thingies off is going to be something you know about that person. So she's a teacher, my example. She loves Apple products. I don't know, like just anything that comes to mind. She lives in Dripping Springs. She loves to read. So take a quick second and do that with at least maybe 2 of your people. You can finish it, you know, in a few minutes later.
Megan, what are you calling this again?
I think I called it like a customer web
Okay.
brainstorm. I don't even know what I called it exactly. I have to look back and see. And like I said, this is just one way, but there's a million things you could be doing. You could, instead of like things about her, you could take one of these names and go, well, Dana, Heather has a dog. So I'm gonna put that. So then off this dog, I could actually do products, right? I could start listing off products that she might like. You know, well, because she's a teacher, a diffuser for her room spray is a must, a Scentsy flower. Like you could use these things and go, what products would serve her? What would she like to use? Or it could be either. You could say, okay, well, since she lives in Dripping Springs, I could ask her for some, you know, to do a basket party. I could fix her up a bag and she could take it to school. She could take it, you know, I want to make sure it has dog products. What kind of things could I get her to do? So, and the other thing is, if you're trying to talk this person into buying, your web you want to reflect the things that you think she would use, right? Like I was talking about. Products that would go with things you know about her, and it would be customized and make her feel like, oh yeah, I could use those things, instead of just bugging her about buying stuff. If you're trying to get her to be a potential host, you might think like, okay, well, she may say, I don't know anyone, or I'm too busy. So you want to build in your responses here to that. You want to go, well, you know, people from school, think of all those teachers. You got all the teachers, right? You know, people from the dog park, you know people, because I don't live in Dripping Springs. So basically anyone you know is probably someone I don't know. You use those things to help build your case that they can have a successful party and or business, right? Because we want to move to that too. So that's the basic idea. Do y'all have any thoughts or ideas on how to make this awesome? Because you guys are full of wonderful ideas too, especially you teacher types.
So this should be people who aren't already customers, or
It can be a combo. If you're using it as I'm just trying to come up with new people, kind of like that first list, I'm trying to think of people who've never used Scentsy, or I've never given a sample, then you can absolutely do it focusing on people you've never used Scentsy. If you're trying to expand your circle, you can start with some of your customers that fit these categories and then try to see who they know. So it can be really both. Yes. Any thoughts or ideas? So the challenge was to try to get about 30 new names. And it doesn't have to be this little spidery web chart. It literally could be you taking a piece of paper with just the topics and just listing out how many people can I think from each category to contact. I mean, as many topics as we just came up with, you probably come up with 100 new people, and they'd probably be different than your list of 100 that you've made from time to time. That's what I'm thinking. So at least I got you started on this, right? Maybe y'all can finish it up, post it sometime before the end of the day, and I'll give you some house points. That'll be good. I mean, just write down who's here, because later I'm always like, I will remember who's here for the Zoom points. And then I'm like, oh, somebody was here and I forgot. Michelle's here.
Good screenshot.
Yes, that would be really smart. I think I've done that in the past. I'm committed to writing at this point, but that's a good idea. I've already got
Party Peeps.
Yes.
How many team members do we have in Party Peeps?
84 currently? At the moment.
84.
Yes. At the moment. Hey, just for grins and giggles, how many do you think are active? I mean, I know I read off the names, but do y'all have any idea? A guess?
20%.
How much?
16, maybe.
16. That's probably about right. I would imagine that's about it. I should have pulled that up, but anyway. Let me see real fast. I can do it pretty fast. Are y'all comfortable with like how to do reports and stuff? Do you use that, Melanie, some or?
I use it a bit, not as much. I think I got into it when I did that challenge with Hustle and Shine but other than that, I still don't use it as much as I should. I started a thing though, where I do write down my PRV for the month every day just to see it. And it's like, I always start out strong at the beginning of the month, and then I can see dwindling down, and then picks up at the very end of the month when I'm closing. But it's helpful to know like, where's my strong suit, and gotta be more consistent.
Right. The reason I wanted to mention like how many are active, There's 20, by the way, 20 out of 84. And we're pretty close in the month. There'll be a few more. We might get like 24. And when I say active, I mean, we all know that means $200 PRV. A lot of them are just 200, like barely. So the percentage this last year of people who have been getting 500 and above has gone up a good bit. There's a lot of y'all that were not doing 500 each month that are doing it now. And that's very encouraging. And before this, there was like a rare time someone would be over 1,000. And now there's usually two or three. So PRV has definitely increased, but there's still 64 people, $0. And the reason I mentioned that is because, oh man, I hate even saying it because it's just sounds bad, but y'all understand what I mean. It is a numbers game. I was talking to a new, it's Heather Smith who came back to Cincy. She used to do Cincy. I think she had about 5 people under her, she said at some point. When you leave like that and you come back, you lose your team. So you start over. And she has a member, but basically she's having a personal good month. She's got one of the top sales. But she doesn't have that active frontline. And it's a sad feeling because you're like, oh, I would promote to lead if she was just active, right? But I was trying to just remind her that we all get excited when we get one person. And it's very exciting, but we can't make anybody do it. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink kind of thing. We all know that. I've had tons of people come and go. I mean, I don't know, 8 years ago, we were already at 99 people. And then we just went back, forth, down, up, and like got down to 34 at some point from 99. And so we've regrown from that 34 up to 84 right now. But the same people that come along with you, there's going to be the few, and I'm looking at you, that are going to just be like, I got this. I will make it work if it takes me 10 more years. I'm going to make it work, because we're only just a person or two away from someone who wants it like we want it to make it a difference. And it is a fact. But the team you start with will not be the team you finish with. You're going to have a few individuals, but mostly it will be different people. And that's why we always need to be focusing on trying. The goal would be to add 2 people a month. If it's challenging, it's challenging. I'm not saying it's easy, but for it to work and to get where you have like the life-changing money where your spouse has quit saying like, you're spending a lot on that Cincy business and not making a lot, the thing is, there's a point where that shifts. And I've heard it over and over from people on trips and people speaking at convention. There's a moment where the spouse gets less irritated and all of a sudden they're all in, because it changes to the money, changes the mind. And it's like I said, it's not all about money, but when it starts not looking like a hobby or like a time financial drain on your family, and it becomes this big blessing, and all the things that you need as a family are being able to be supported by that Cincy business, makes a really big difference in the support system too, right? And that's just a fact. It's the way it is. So when I look at my team, and I know we've got a handful of people that are sticking in there, and there's 10 to 14 each month that are pretty consistent, I just go, okay, we just have to grow it to where there's about 50 people consistently doing that. Well, that means that we need way more than 84 people. So it's just that kind of thing. So when you get one person on your team, maybe they're the one, and you're going to support them and help them and mentor them. But at some point, if they keep saying, I can't do it right now, or no one will buy, and they make the excuses, and you can tell they're not really in it. They're not really looking at it as a business they want to move forward and build that dream on. You got to keep finding someone else. You can still support them as, hey, you're a hobbyist. I love hobbyists on my team too. That's great. But my time is going to be devoted to the people who really want that career. They want it to be something that they could pass on to their children, because there are people doing that. So just something to keep in mind. It's largely the 80-20 rule of everything. Even with customer bases, 20% of your customers, are going to be the ones that keep coming back. You're going to have to constantly be looking for new people. So just some food for thought. But you want to build, and every time too, like a lot of times when I make my list of 100 or a fresh list, I don't even like a list of 100. I just like to keep adding on. I like to keep everybody that's I've bought and engaged with, but I like to put like codes by their name. Someone who loves to buy, I'm going to put like a C for customer or B for buy, because they're just always buying. And then I'm going to say, they're buying so much. I need to put them in the Cincy Club. So I'm going to put a little club by their name and say, I'm going to focus this month on getting them a club subscription. I want to get that. And then I'm going to say, they're buying so much. I'm like, they need to do this. They need to do this. So I'm going to really focus, and I'm going to put P for perspective, or C for consultant. You got to figure out what words you like and what speak to you and what you want to focus on with people. Someone who is always wanting something, but they never quite have the money, host. Let's host a party. Let's get it for free. And just trying to work it each month, because we all get to a point where it's hard to do all the things. But if you make it a focus to talk to like 25 people a week, I'm going to just have a list that I touch base with them, and I'm going to try to see what I can help them with. It will start to make a difference over time. And then if you can say, like, you can always ask people, is there anybody that you think would be great to do this as a business? Anybody that needs this? And they'll be like, I don't know anyone. But if you push and you say, well, do you know anybody who just had a baby? Do you know anyone? Specifics, people are able to come up with answers better. So that's just some random thoughts. I'm kind of random today. Anyway, y'all have any thoughts? I'm here, I'm listening. Hang on, I gotta grab something. Oh. Also, I just ordered these on Amazon, and I've got to fill them up, but the borrow bags, like where you kind of get them, I ordered this one. It's very simple. It was very cheap, but it's iridescent and clear. And the idea, just fill it up with some things that you have on hand that people can experience and feel. So I'm going to try on my list to find some people and say, hey, I have this bag. Would you like to borrow it for a week? I think that's a really good thing. And I bought this one, which isn't the prettiest bag, but it has some compartments, and it wasn't very expensive either. So I'm like, well, this would be fun for someone with kids. I put in a squishy bitty buddy and put on a clip that smells good. Probably put in some washer whiff samples and some testers and things like that. And just if they have a dog, put some things in and just tell them, listen, I really just want you to be like a product tester for me this week. You don't even have to say, I want you to buy or do a party. And then at the end of the week, or touch in, it would be better to touch in. See, follow up is such a hard thing for me. Like, I sent out 30 Happy Mail packages that they had the scavenger hunt and the new catalog and the scratch and sniff stickers at the beginning of the month. And I even put in some like coupons, right? Well, guess what? How many days are left of the month? 3. I need to follow up with those people that haven't cashed it in. Hey, you only have 3 days. I could probably get some orders. So it's hard for all of us to be at all of it. It is a full-time job if you are going to take it seriously and try to do it really well. But I could at least look over my list. I did make a list this time of who I sent it to, because that's the other thing. I'm so good at doing big things and then not having the records to what did I do? Who did I send that to? So for once, I actually did put it in the spreadsheet. So it wouldn't be real challenging. It's just I need to have the awareness. There's 3 days left. Their coupon's only good through the end of March. I do a quick little, I hope you enjoyed your little VIP package. Just reminding you, Smelly Cash is expiring in 3 days. Is there anything you'd like to get? That's simple. So it's just got to do it. So it's just some random.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to, let's see, how are we doing? We're going to wrap up pretty quick. Next week is Easter, so I imagine everybody wants to take that Sunday off. We'll take that one off. We won't do a Zoom on Sunday. But what I will try to do, I was going to try it this last week and I didn't get it done. Michelle and I mentioned, trying to have you guys have a specific task, a leadership task during the week. And it doesn't have to be anything hard or challenging. Like, for instance, I keep trying to think what would be good. I've been putting up kind of consistently like a day theme, and you guys are interacting and I appreciate it. I'm still struggling with what is good. Like, what will bring people, what will make people want to engage? So I'm totally open. If y'all would brainstorm this week and tell me, here's a good thought for a Wednesday, maybe we do this. And some of the days are more successful than others. I can already tell the training Tuesdays, nobody's got time for that. Nobody's doing that. That's fine. So what could be a Tuesday thing? And I like alliteration. So we need something to Tuesday. But if y'all would just think on that and send some brainstorms around, or what would be fun, what would bring people and connect us through the week? Because I tell you, you guys showing up consistently for this is really helping me a lot, and I appreciate it. And I'm enjoying it, seeing y'all each week. so just some little touches through the week, not a huge commitment, nothing crazy, just like I said, I keep using that word, I want to build our community and our helping each other out. And even if it's, we have a very positive page and I don't anticipate anything like that, but wanting y'all just to be able to come and share stuff and what works, what hasn't worked. Anytime you do something. And the other idea is like, anytime you've shared something or you just see something fun, I want it to be like, oh, I want to share it with the party peeps. Like, that's what I'm hoping. Like, just that we are all there through the week. Nothing to feel like a burden, just, fellowship and fun. So
Yeah.
If y'all could think of that, and I know a lot of crickets are happening because there's not that many people wanting to engage, but an interesting thing, after I updated the house points last week, a few people who never really had done much had said a thing or two. I'm like, okay, there's a little glimmer, a little spark. So I think if we all just keep going, it's going to gain some momentum, and maybe summer will be way better. I know it's busy. We all feel it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Okay.
Anything else you guys are thinking or whatever? We'll regroup. What my plan is during the week to try really hard to say, hey, Michelle, would you kind of help think of a couple tips about getting a newly certified person to lead? Like, I'll give you a specific thing for that next week's challenge, which would really be almost 2 weeks out because we're going to take Easter off. Does that sound like, and then that way y'all can speak to it that next Sunday. So it'd be the second Sunday of April. And we'd have a little bit more of a, you do this, a little more collaborative effort.
Okay.
And if I ever send you something, you're like, man, this week I just can't, I understand. Just tell me. It's fine. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
I'm going to go work on borrow bags. I've always said, like, take this to your job kind of thing. But if I can just get a couple of those just for people just to have in their own house and use it that way, I think I'm going to do that today.
Yeah, if you have an open bottle of dish soap or a hand soap that's not completely gone, put that baby in there and let them try it, because that will really help. And tell them, I just need some product reviews. Like, I'd love for you, when you fall in love with your top couple products, would you go on my business page and just put a little testimony, or, just share that you enjoyed borrowing it. And then maybe that would gain a little momentum. But we all have things sitting around. Another great thing to put in there, I usually have them right there, are the little mini fan diffusers, because they're so easy to throw in. Even the wall fan diffusers are easy to throw in because they're hard. They're not ceramic or glass. So I think they're fantastic. Okay, thank y'all for being here. You're awesome.
Thank you, Megan.
Y'all have a great week. Everybody just breathe and it's gonna be okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye,
Okay,
you guys.
Bye.